Hello, Beez Bladers. Welcome back and welcome newcomers to the channel. I am so glad you're here, and I'm glad I'm here too because I have a big smile on my face. You know, the last couple of knives we've shown on the channel have been a little pricey for the Beez Blades channel. Well, I'm going to give you your budget fix today. And guess what? This is going to be not only an unboxing, but it's going to be a review at the same time. What? Yeah, that's right. The reason why is because the knife that we're unboxing today, I have another one that's been sitting on the giveaway shelf, and I've carried it, I've checked it out, and it's one of these, and they are less than, well, they're like 20 bucks. Are you ready to get in here? Let's get in. Let's get in it. Thank you, channel members. Thank you, subscribers. Thank you, patrons. All of you are freaking amazing. I love you all to pieces. Thank you for making this happen. And this is the Ef16. Now, I have another one, and I'll show you that one here in just a minute, but I want to show you the whole unboxing experience. And if you're watching this in the morning with your coffee, good morning. Or if you're driving, don't look at the screen. Just listen. Look later. But I'm going to show you a knife that I think for 20 bucks is worth it. Here you go. Pow, right in the KIZER. Would you look at it with the black speck on it and everything? It's the Ef16, and it's not very photogenic. And here's the top side, and here's the back side, and I'll show you another one that's going to show up a lot better than this, but I want to show you this one fresh out of the box that hasn't been used. And you can see it's well centered, and it's a CEO style. Look at that. The blade does not come out of the top. It's very sleek, very slender, but this isn't like the CEO knives. This bad boy's got some heft. It's hefty. I mean, would y'all look at it? It has a right side tip up only carry pocket clip. Are you ready to see this blade? Pow, right in the KIZER. Look at that. I mean, would you look at it? This thing actually does not mess around. For $20, I'm going to show you some really cool stuff about this knife and some comparisons. I'm going to make sure you get a good look at it. Now check this out. Here's the blue one I have. And this one is going to be in a giveaway. And you already know I like to do giveaways. Now I'm going to do some size comparisons and all that fun stuff and show you a little bit more about this budget knife. Oh, before I forget, the one I was flipping is the ST109 Sativian. I absolutely love this. You can go check out my videos. I have one on this one and the ST110. Now, these come in obviously the blue and the jade, and you can also get like the OD green or black. Now, let's check out the fit and finish of this new one. Then I'll tell you a little bit more about this one right here. And I'm curious. I got my little brush here. Is that going to come off, or is that a fatal flaw, or what do we got going here? It looks like it's coming off a little bit. Maybe if I use some soap and water, but you know, that's not what we're here to do. We're not here to clean a knife. Now let's check it out. It is, okay, I do have a little bit of movement. We have movement. Houston, just about, I'd say about 2 out of 20. I could feel it just a tad. It needs tightened up. Nothing up and down. How about our lockup? What's the old lockup look like? I'd say about around 30, 35, maybe closer to 40%. And it is dead centered. Look at the tip on that sucker. That thing is not messing around. This thing has a heavy-duty blade to it. Let's get up nice and close and personal and check out this blade. So it has a really nice-looking stone wash. It's pretty even, and look at that grind. I have to say, you know, some people hate on EF knives, but all the ones that I've checked out so far are super solid. They're ones that I wouldn't have any trouble throwing in the tackle box, throwing in the glove box, carrying, working around the yard. And it's kind of hard to show you the texture vision. Let me show you the texture vision on this blue one. So there's the texture. It has good grip on it. It's not aggressive whatsoever, but it does give you a nice grip. Let's get up all nice and close, give you a nice idea of what the blue looks like. See how it has those grooves milled out in there? It's very nice. It's very nice in the hand. This one feels the same way. You just can't see it. And there you do have a slender spot for a lanyard. And then inside, we're not milled out. And you know what? We're going to try to take it apart. It doesn't have a T8. It has a flathead. This is going to be a first. So I think we're going to probably attack it from the clip side when we take it apart here in just a minute. It's easy in and out of the pocket. You don't have any problems with that. And I think part of that's because of this big ramp. Now, that does come into play with the ergos, and we'll go over the ergos here in just a second. But I'm curious. I want to see if this thing will cut. Now, one thing I keep in mind when I've carried this, is that you have a heavy-duty blade stock, and then you don't have much room for it to go beep down to your secondary grind. So it's not going to be a slicey knife. It's going to be kind of a pokey, you know, like maybe poke some holes in a bag or something like that. Just saying. Let's see if it can even cut a piece of paper. Okay, all right. Actually, that's pretty impressive. All right, pretty nice, very nice. So it definitely comes with a nice grind on it for being such a short blade. You can see it's a very even grind. That is something that I really appreciate. I get some more expensive knives that do not have a grind like that. So here's your specs in less than 60 seconds. I've already weighed it. I already knew what it weighed. It weighs 3.72 ounces. Your total length from tip to tip is 8.38 inches. Your blade steel's D2 with the stone wash. Your total blade length's 3.67 inches, and your sharpened blade length's 3.52 inches. Your blade width 0.59 inches, and your blade stock thickness is a hefty 140 thousandths of an inch. Behind the edge, we were 29 thousandths of an inch. Your handle material is G10, and your close length from tip to tip is 4.7 inches. Your handle width is 0.73 inches, and your close width is the same because there's no blade sticking out. Your handle thickness is 0.63 inches. You have a flipper for opening. There's bearings in there. It's a liner lock. It's right side tip up. You have a flat head and T6, and it's the EF16. Now let's do a few size comparisons. Here's the Artisan Sirius and the Shielded Knives Empoleon. If you have any of these knives, this will give you an idea of how big or small it is, and I'll show you what it looks like next to the CEO here in just a second. Here's the Kershaw Leek by Ken Onion. I mean, one of the most popular knives on the planet, I think. And of course, you already know the QSP Penguin. There's your Penguin. Now, if you have a Penguin, you know how wide it is. Here is an idea of how thick this knife is. It is thicker than the Penguin. So what it lacks this direction, it makes up all around. So here it is against the Penguin one more time, and the Leek. So you see it has length and everything else on those two. Let's throw a couple more up here. How about the Petrified Fish Zero? The Zero. A lot of people got this knife and really like it. And the CRKT Crossbones. I don't know what blade steel this is. I'm not always sure with CRKT. Just saying. But this gives you an idea. Let's put a couple more up here. Here is the Rake P865, which I really love. Some people don't like it because of the way the blade comes down so steep. I like these pokey, stabby, package opener type thinner knives. There's a time and a place for everything. There's the Civivi Imperium. And last but not least, here is the CEO, the CRKT CEO, that so many people are familiar with. So this gives you an idea. The CEO, you would want to be very careful. Let me give you an idea. Check out the difference in blade stock. Holy moly. This thing is not messing around. So just to give you, there you go. There you go, little fella. Would you look at it? Yeah, this one, you can, you can bend it. It's bendy. This one is like solid as a rock. You could poke holes in a bucket, I would think. Don't do it. I'm just saying. It's that sturdy. It feels really sturdy in the hand. Now, I have this plastic brush with the plastic bristles, and all I did was go back and forth. I probably didn't show you as I went so fast, but it's really good for cleaning G10 and getting little stuff out of the grooves in G10, and it did a pretty good job. Let's do the old push button Rooney. Pow, right in the kisser. Nice and quick. It's easy to deploy. Oh, now look at that. This one, straight out of the box, is already that smooth. Holy moly, it'll come down and hit your fingernail if you let it. Wow. So, you know what? Whatever movement there was, it's down to a 1. I can like barely detect it if I'm trying. It's tightened up. Maybe it was my imagination, but it has tightened up. Look how smooth this thing is. We haven't even done anything. We haven't put any lube in it. Light switch is really nice. How about left-handed? Oh, and something else about it. It has a really nice pass-through. I enjoy the pass-through. It's easy to use. It's easy to flip. It's easy to play with, left-handed or right-handed. And definitely don't go stabbing things with any locking blade like this, because I don't know about you, but I don't trust any of them that much. There's your pass-through. It's really easy on the finger. You don't have to dig your finger in there. Now, one thing I will mention that I've noticed with both of these, there's a tad bit, just a tad bit, I wouldn't bid, a tad bit, bitter, just a tad bit of kind of lock grab. I wouldn't call it lock stick, but you know, where you can feel it. And all I would do is get a pencil and just mark on the inside of the lock face, and that would probably go away. But it's something to mention. I can definitely feel it. All right, let's get in here and see how successful we are. I had to find me a flathead. I've never had to use a flathead on a knife before. and we're not going to need a T8, so I'll get a T6. And I have a couple T6s and a couple T8s in here, but definitely get you a Weehaw bit set. Don't get a cheap set because you will strip them, believe me, and then you'll wish you had got the real deal. Plus, this one has a backup driver, and if you're new to Beez Blades, welcome to Beez Blades. And don't forget, Friday nights, Beez Blades, live at the Hive. All right. Definitely come and check out the live stream. We have so much fun, and we'll see if I have any snafus. I'm not going to, now, everybody that's used to, well, okay, that was easy. Everybody that's used to Beez Blades and your members and subscribers and patrons, you already know I'm not going to say anything to jinx myself. So there's your pivot screw. It is nice and clean. It doesn't have any thread locker on it. So are we going to be just as lucky with our pocket clip? Oh, okay. Look at that. It came right out. Oh, that's a long one. That's a long one. You know, somebody said in the live stream, I think it was the other night, that I say a certain phrase on almost every video. Somebody tell me what it is. And another thing is I do giveaways, random giveaways, drawings just on comments on videos. So it's a good idea, even if you don't have something to say about the knife, just say hello, say something in the comments, because on Friday nights at the live stream, I do giveaways and I just pick random comments. So there's the inside of the G10, and this is going to be definitely a good one to dye the scales on. And I have a rag here with a little bit of alcohol on it. I'm just going to clean it off. Oh, and by the way, a channel member there's a channel member who is anonymous that donated this one for the giveaway. And we have that a lot, and it is so awesome, this community, how nice everyone is and giving and caring. So if you're not familiar with the knife community, definitely come and check out the live stream. So this is what we look like. And are we just going to pop off nice and easy? I'm going to open this blade to get it out of my way because it is all coming loose and I want to be safe. It's come out of there. Okay, let's do that. All right, there we go. So I'm going to see if this dude will pop off. Okay, there we go. Much better. We're going to pop off here. I'm going to have to finagle it and do a little wiggling. Wiggle it. Just, oh no, look at that. You know, I have $50 knives that don't have D-shaped pivots. Would you look at it? Just look at it. If you're a Beez Blader, you already know what I'm talking about right now. Look at that. We have a D-shaped pivot. And this is what you look like on the inside. There's your detent hole. We're going to use some KPL heavy. I'll show you what that is here in just a minute. And those look like steel bearings. There's your stop pin. So these bearings are facing downwards and these are facing downwards. Very interesting. So they did not put them in how I typically see them, but it was super smooth. So there's not going to be any problem. And I was asked recently, does it matter which way they go in? Well, you know, I've only had it a couple times where I think I noticed it. But I tend to like putting them back the way I found them. We'll see here in a couple minutes, if I don't lose my train of thought, if I actually put these back the way I found them or not. And definitely get you some of these doodads. I'll have a link in the description where you can get you a bunch of these doodads for like really good price. And just clean that out. I don't know. It's discolored, but it's not dirt. There's no dirt coming off of there. All right. Just get this cleaned off. That is clean. I mean, the whole thing is pretty clean. This rag I've used before. I did get some schmutz out of there. Some schmutz. You know, this is one of those knives that I wasn't sure if I wanted to review or not. I don't know. I didn't have that feeling. I wasn't sure, but it's usually when I get out of my comfort zone that I have the most fun because I learned something. And there's man, those are nice looking. Very nice. And see how they're steel colored? Those are definitely steel. And I'm sure they're going to stick. Yes, they are sticky to the magnet, which I already knew just by the color of them. So now I think we're ready to put it back together. I mean, that's all there is to it. Now, I'm definitely not going to make a comment like I've done on other videos where I'm like, hey, that was easy. I'm not going to say it's easy because you don't know it's easy until you've got the whole thing back together and you're done. So here's your D-shaped pivot, which I very much appreciate. That is amazing. That is awesome. I love a D-shaped pivot. And this is what I mean by D-shaped. You obviously can see the D. But you can see the D. You can see where it's going to match up. All right, so let's put this back together. I'm holding my tongue. Just because for one video, I don't know. Can I make it a whole video without innuendo? Or what's the term somebody used the other day? Double entendre. Now that just sounds a little fancy for me. Double entendre. So I have some KPL regular. Get you some KPL knife pivot lube. I have a link in the description. And by the way, I have 10% discounts to a ton of places, including knife pivot lube. And I have 10% off at White Mountain Knives. And I'm going to put these back the way they were on there because it was smooth. It was smooth. I have 10% off the Lancelot Leather, 5% off at Civivi. I have links in the description to knives that I use, maintenance supplies, this mat that I use. Pretty much if you see it in the videos, I most likely have a link down there to it. Let's see. Try not to get ahead of myself. I'm going to put a little lube on the inside of here. And I was pretty impressed with the action of this thing. So, before I move on to the next thing, these $20 knives, you know, there's a lot of folks in this knife community that hang out. Oh, okay, I'm just making sure I didn't mess up. You know, there's still time that, you know, don't want to spend more than 20, 25, 30 bucks on a knife. That's the boat that I'm in most of the time. So this right here is your, what do you call that? Your detent hole. And I'm trying to get it to the level. Can you just see that little track right there? It's hard to get it in the light. There you go. I'm just going to put a little bit of KPL heavy. Be real. Oh, now see, I use too much. But that's why I have my doodads. Love my doodads. So I'm just going to spread the love just a little bit. And I wipe that off because I used way too much. See, I'm heavy-handed. Heavy-handed. There we go. There's plenty on there. Plenty. Now I'm going to put this dude in here, and hopefully it's on camera so you can see it. Then put a little more KPL on there. But for all of you that like the budget knives, and I know a lot of you do, you know, that's the basis. I mean, I like doing a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Now see here where this D-shaped is? Hopefully you can see that. I'm just going to line this up and then turn it around to where we want it, to get it all lined up with everything else. Now, are we missing anything before I get it lined up and snapped in? Okay, all right. How are we looking here? All right, I'm going to leave it in here just so you all can get a good laugh, because that's, you know, see? Oh, that is, okay, I'm leaving it. I'm not editing that out. Because that's just too good. That is too good to edit out. And if you know, you know. I just put the scale on backwards. Oh my gosh. Can you believe that? I can believe it. Oh, I can't wait till the live stream when you guys rib me for that one. That is awesome. Hey, you know, when you talk as much as I do, that is awesome. All right. Okay. Are we coming back together? Let's see. It looks like we are coming back together. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and put this pivot back in here, and we'll see what happens. We'll see if it lines up and it centers. I have the feeling that this is going to center. I'm definitely not a fan of a flathead screw in the pivot. Not a fan of that at all. I'm just putting this in there enough to hold it so I can put a screw back here because it's just wanting to slide around on me. So, oh my gosh, that was hilarious. I had a moment of confusion. I was like, what's wrong here? Oh, that is just too good. That is too rich. Now, see, this isn't clicked in. I want to make sure I have that snapped in where it goes. So I'm going to come up here just a little bit. There we go. Now you can see we're all nice and lined up. There we go. All right. So I'm not tightening this down all the way. I'm going to get the other one. So relatively speaking, as long as you pay attention to what you're doing, this one does seem to come back together very easily. It's easy to take apart. Most knives are really easy to take apart. Sometimes it's a little tricky getting it back together. But if you get one of these, now you'll know how to take it apart and give it a little bit of maintenance. And I'm going to tighten up the pivot. Yeah, very, very different having a flathead in the pivot. I guess it's not a bad thing. All right. Oh man, it is rock solid. Jeez. All right, there we go. How's the action? I know we're up close. Oh, it's nice. Are we centered? Yes, we're centered. Let's go to the big screen. And we're back. So all in all, what's my feeling on a $20 CEO, but heavy duty CEO style knife? Well, the action is crazy. I mean, you get better action than you get on a lot of knives that are way more expensive than this. So you have good action, the ergos on it. My hand, I didn't even show you. My hand's 4 inches from here to here, 3.5 inches from here to here. From here to here is 7 1/4. I didn't even show you the ergos. There you go. The ergos are not bad at all. The ergos are good. And see, I'm used to doing the unboxings. This one being a review, I almost forgot. It's comfortable to use. I haven't used it on anything heavy duty, but the one thing you do feel is the pocket clip because it's pointing straight up into the sky. So that is one issue. I would call it a warm spot. It depends on where you hold it. If you hold it way down here in your hand, then you're going to feel it a little bit. If you hold it up higher, then that pocket clip disappears inside the palm of your hand. So it kind of depends on where you hold it. But it's great for cutting. I mean, it's great for opening packages. It has a comfortable feel in the traditional grip. You know, if you want to do the reverse grip and do a little pokey poke, you could do that. It's great all-around knife. I like it. I think it's pretty good. You know, there's folks that are going to say in the comments, oh, they don't use real D2. Well, you know, LTK tests these. He's had many of them tested, and they all come back as D2. And the thing I would say is that even if it wasn't D2, I bet you anything that it's going to be a little better material that you get in some other brand CEO style knives. Just saying. So with that said, what do I think? Yeah, I like it. I think it's well worth 20 bucks. It fits in the pocket well. It's easy in and out of the pocket. And you know, if you're a knife collector like me and you want to get you a different knife, different style knife, I think it's a good idea. So let me know what you think about it. And you know, and if you don't have a comment or anything about the knife, then tell me what you had for breakfast. But until I see you again or see you on the next live stream or see you in the comments, remember to live life in the present, keep a Band-Aid handy, and don't cut yourself.